Welcome back to our channel, my dear family and friends. I I want to apologize for last night starting so late. I was zonked and then I pressed the wrong button and the whole thing it went haywire. So sorry about that. I just want to. I feel like we're in a different place. I feel like things are changing in a beautiful way in terms of the networking possibilities of this channel. I'm just seeing a kind of an expansion. We just finished an interview with Sandra Mirecki, and it was it was stunning. If you haven't seen this video, I highly recommend you check it. It's on all the channels that we're doing in a regular way, but it just seemed like it just really hit the spot in terms of validating what this channel is all about, which is trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the world, right? I mean, there's no direct information well, except for maybe President Trump, and even that is seems to us to be a bit mainstream for our taste, and we are always looking for the esoteric meaning. What does he really mean? How does this relate to a Q post? So it's kind of like a Torah. In Torah, there are four levels that you can study Torah, like the plain meaning, the plain story, and it goes, the allegories, what it really means, and then it goes all the way to the gematria, where you're looking at the numerical significance of the numbers. Just like, by the way, David Schmidt with the LifeWave product, he looked at the beginning of Genesis to see the patterns, to see how it related, and it actually related to D, DNA patterns in lobsters, of all things, because lobsters don't age. That's a side topic. This Sandra Mirecki is from the Republic. We're all from the Republic. She says that the Republic basically ended in 1860, and that the White Hats had asked her and other people to pick up where we left off in 1860. She talks about the Organic Act of 1871. She talks about JFK's assassination. But they were asked by the White Hats in 2008, I believe, to create the Republic, to recreate. I say recreate, but to recreate the Republic, to set up a republic based on the Constitution, and that when the time is ready, now what that means is that they are establishing a republic in each state, in each of the 50 states. And I want to put, let me go to the chat. I want to put, hey guys, good to see you too. Yeah, I'm a little. It's a little earlier tonight, which is, I mean, last night we were scrambling, and it was just, we did so many things yesterday in Kingman. It was just, not to mention that I put in a gigantic window before we left, and so we were just we were out of it. But thanks for having the patience to deal with me. The and I also want to say, I just want to say, in general, to the people, like, I'm like, I felt like for many years I was really, because I've been canceled so many times. I'm being shadow banned now. I know that, but it doesn't matter. I felt like I was in kind of a bubble. It was kind of like, I just felt like, listen, I'm just going to go ahead no matter what. I don't know who's listening. I don't know. And I don't care. I'm just going to broadcast as much as I can. Right. I left New York. I I didn't look back. I was not like Lot's wife. I was just like, well, we're going to Arizona no matter what, how many vehicles I had to go through to get there. Hey, Pegs. But I'm just feeling like a very expanded now. I mean, the LifeWave thing is going well. People are really responding to LifeWave. Imagine a healing method that actually heals you instead of destroys you, like Tylenol. I mean, the most or I don't know about aspirin, but the most harmless. This harmless. Just take a few Tylenol. This is like destroying your liver, producing autism in children. This kind of thing. It's So we have a healing method that's that actually heals you, but people are really jumping on the bandwagon, and I am having to face my own fear of success, and especially monetary success, because I'm so used to being to scrambling for dollars. I'm so used to being, let's just get through the day. Do we have enough food for today? This kind of thing. I mean, and I'm sure most of us are in that situation. That's why we're so easily led into euphoric states of mind over XRP is going to the moon, silver is going to the moon. Silver is really going to the moon, but all these things are going up. But the stock market went to the moon today. I'm not at this point. I'm not invested in the stock market. I don't. I still don't. I don't feel. I don't feel it yet right now. So I'm off the. I'm out of the market. That doesn't mean to say there are great deals to be made. I mean, I'm out of Bitcoin, and people, Eric, the Trumps are even talking about Bitcoin. I don't believe in it. But so Sandra said that the White Hats contacted her and others like her. She was an Air Force pilot, probably an amazing person. I recommend you checking it out. And we will have people from the Republic back. I will be interviewing them as much as I can, because what they're saying is that when the time is right, and this is really this is like truth. This is, we try to find truth in the news coverage, and we see this and we see that, and but she said that when and they get periodically attacked like I do. They get censored, they get canceled, they get infiltrated by the bad guys who take them down. Remember, we're dealing with reptiles. We're dealing with highly intelligent, destructive force, like the Democrats. They don't produce anything. All they can do is be the party of no. But she says that when and they've been sabotaged a few times already. When all 50 states have a representative republic, they have the governor and the state senate and the national senate, and when the republic has enough people to fulfill all the positions that are necessary to create a republic. And when there are approximately, she said, 50,000 people in every state that are aware of what the republic represents, then the White Hats will give the go ahead and they will announce Gesara law, which starts with, I mean, there are a lot of people who have to sign non-disclosure agreements. I'm not one of them. Nobody really is after me in any respect, thank God. But when enough people, when the republic has all their representatives in place, and about 50, I think she sort of meant, I think it was like 30,000 to 50,000 people in each state, which isn't really that many people, are aware of the republic, then the White Hats will flip the switch and will go into Gesara. They will be given 120 days, and the job of the republic is to look over the elections. Remember, they will announce the elections, Gesara elections. They will give us 120 days to elect a replacement for this this body of people. It reminds me very much of the Postmaster General, right? That he took over this position and he captured the flag. It's it's fascinating. All these things are fascinating. But so I'm gonna share Fahrenheit 31 Fahrenheit cold. Is that what we're getting in Alberta? Yeah, 31 Fahrenheit. Is 31 Fahrenheit's cold? Oh, yeah, Jay Chadwick. It is to us down here. We barely break the frost number. Yeah, but that would be about it. But I'm sure in Alberta, you're not near a big body of water, so it must be like Minnesota where you can get into the negative numbers. Chadwick's my buddy from Alberta. At any rate, so this is the thing that enough people have to be awake. 50,000 people per state is not that many people. But I encourage everyone, and I just want to share this information. She said that everyone should sign up republicforusa.org. And the more people that sign up, the more the white hats, she's saying, monitor how far along the population is before they can implement certain things. And she also said that she believes there's like an AI monitoring public awareness, public consciousness. So yeah, write that down, public republicforusa.org, and call them up and register. I registered. It's not a big deal. It'll take about 3 seconds. When enough people register, what? Yeah, you should do it too. Yeah, absolutely. When enough people register, and but she also says we need people to be active. They need representatives. Like, remember, Nancy Singletary is the governor of Georgia. That's her position. They need people to actually do things and learn things. And she said this is a way to really activate Gesara. This is the way it's going to happen. So, weigh that against all these numbnicks. Well, what I mean, turd brains, who are constantly telling us, we're at the finish line. It's about to happen. It's wait till next Tuesday. 6 o'clock can be dangerous. Friday. I mean, I've done this myself, not knowing. I just blocked a person that I really like. I really like his presentation, but he's always talking about how the EBS is already activated, and this doesn't help us, because at the end of the day, and this has been my contention from the beginning, I don't know where I get my downloads, but wherever they come from, they keep telling me it's not going to happen until the people rise up. And in other countries, it's already happening. Bulgaria now, the people just took to the streets and they got rid of the government. They just told them to get the hell out of Dodge. That's what it's going to take. Nepal, all these countries are just telling them to go away. These are satanic, and we're not fighting Republicans. We're not fighting Democrats. We're not fighting whatever, rich, poor. We're fighting a satanic organization that eats kids. I mean, how else do you describe it? 8 million kids go missing a year. They get into sex trafficking. That I just heard that we were a fan of this Stranger Things program. I loved it the first time I saw it, but there's like a sequel to it that somehow Netflix took out the MK Ultra thing from it and made it into LGBTG or whatever the hell that initials are. Made it into about, there's a woman who's a lesbian, and it's just like, I find it really intensely boring now. It was a great show in the past, but this is what the creepazoids do. Okay, I'm going to take this off. I assume everyone's written that written that down. So I'm going to have more people from the Republic come on our station. We're going to do it as often as we can because it's to me it's so important that we be active participants in the Great Awakening. That's why I always stress you should be an investor. You should be thinking about where you want to live, who you want to live with, about community, about maybe, like me, I'm kind of like in the build it and they will come mindset that I'm out here in the middle of the desert trying to build housing for educational purposes or exchanging information purposes, or who knows. I don't really know where this is going, but I'm building it, with the thought that whatever's supposed to happen from it will come. So too this channel. So that's what I'm saying. Like all of a sudden it seems like there's a bit of a charge, even though I'm being shadow banned, and I never know what's going to happen with YouTube. By the way, if you're listening to me on YouTube, please check. My X channel is eWebstar13. My Rumble channel is Kabbalah Guru. What else? We're on Facebook. I think Kabbalah Guru is my Facebook. That I right now I'm delighted. Oh, I'm off the chats. I'm delighted that I'm on YouTube, but there's no guarantee. And people say, "Where have you been?" And I'm like, "I've been broadcasting this whole time. It's just that I YouTube historically has censored everything that I've done for the last, I lost 13 channels and then I found this other one. Could it be that the white hats are in control of YouTube now? I don't know. I don't bank on any of this stuff. So this interview I did with Sandra, she talks about that that the white hats asked them to start the Republic as an official body that will be in charge of the Gesara elections, but they can't go forward with their plan until they have all the people in position and like 30 to 50,000 people per state involved in the Republic. And this is a continuation from the Republic, which apparently ended in 1860. There was the organic law, this organic takeover in 1871. We are taking back our world. And this seems to me to be the most credible information source that we've had so far. We pick and choose. We pick like chickens through the news to find out what's really flying. But at the end of the day, what she said is it all depends. We need people who actually can do it. So if you live in North Dakota and they need a governor, you could be the governor until we the people elect the governor in the Gesara elections that will be given 120 days to reorganize, and then these people will be replaced. But they are willing to be the stand-ins until this great transformation takes place. So I think this is thrilling news because at the end of the day, like in Bulgaria, it has to come from the people. And that's why I stress the idea that you need to be sovereign. But when I say that the channel seems to be taking off, like I said, even though I am being shadow banned, and who know, and I've been shadow banned, and it it seems like we're gathering a kind of attraction, a kind of well, like it's crackling. It has sparkle. It has shine. I met Valerie and Mike. People who live in the same place that I do. In on the way my way out off the ranch, and they were like they recognized me. This me and I just spoke to a young man named Grant and Rose, who want to help me with the LifeWave pursuit. They want to come on Dr. Stacy's channel, which I've been offering people this for years. I want to, we're starting to snowball. We're starting to accumulate an avalanche of like-minded people. Whether or not we hit the level of, all these big podcasters, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that the people that I speak to are just, they're so dedicated to this thought stream. And I'm just, you know, I like it. I like this. I like that we're accumulating. I like that we're successful. Even though it's not successful maybe in the traditional sense, we are successful. And she was saying that there are a lot of information streams out there, and she said that it was amazing to her that one podcaster would really nail it. And she's like, well, why don't all the podcasters know this one particular thought? And she says it could be intentionally delivered that way by the white hats in order for them to calibrate where they are, that they use some kind of AI tech to judge where the population is holding. That's why it's so important for all of us to ascend. With the life wave thing, it's having good health. How can you fight this vicious parasitic enemy if you're not in good health? And the medicines that they give us are not designed to necessarily be beneficial. They're designed to make money. They're designed to keep us in a state of need. But if you can recapture your health, if you can recapture a sense of wealth, whether or not XRP goes to the moon next Friday or Tuesday or ever, you being a player in your own financial future, to me, is really big. Right? I just, I just think so. I mean, like I heard something from, we got some kind of Gmail from my mortgage holder, because I haven't paid my mortgage in months. And Danielle said, just, forget about it. Don't even think about it. Because, my plan is that one day I'll have a chunk of money and I'll go and I'll pay off the rest of my mortgage. And I told them that. So I'm not going to get into the fear space. I for a minute I was like, oh no, I have to hire a lawyer now. No, I'm not hiring a lawyer to go into a satanic cult. I did that once, and it just produced such misery for me in my divorce case. I was just like, I hired a lawyer, because they served me papers and I answered it. That's where you make the mistake. Don't answer these creeps. They have no legal basis to do what they're doing. The taxes, the insurance, all these things are scams. So if you volunteer, it's just like, this is the satanic way. The Satanists say, like, if you volunteer, then you're in, right? You hire a lawyer, you're in. You pay your insurance, you're into the scam. I saw a clip. This woman was crying because she got insurance. Her house burned down, and the insurance company would only give her the amount of money that her original house was worth. And her house is worth, it's a scam. The, I've told you about the medical things, because we don't have insurance. So they say, what's your, they don't ask you, do you have insurance? They say, what's your insurance? So we say, well, we don't have any. And they're like, okay, so this will be your price. At the hospital, we sometimes get blood tests at the hospital for various reasons, and they say, you got $20. Yeah. And then they send us a bill for, like, $10,000, and we're just like, what? It's a joke. It's a joke. They're playing. But I need bad to restore my kidneys. I'm telling you, man, talk to Dr. Stacy. I'm not claiming you could be cured, but please entertain it. At least you have a shot. X39, X49, glutathione patch, SP6 for your endocrine system. We're using all these patches now so we get more involved and we become more successful. And we want you guys to join us and be successful too, to be promoting light technology to people who are used to being destroyed by the medical community. Now we're not allowed to make claims like this heals you or anything. We can't say that. Well, I can because I don't really I can say it to some degree. I know, they tell me, just take it easy on us, but we're total junkies, man, on these patches. We now take our patches off an hour before we go to sleep because they're so energizing you cannot sleep. And we we spend a lot of our money on the patches, but it has tremendous results. So, the X39 patch is kind of like the basics. So you want your stem cells. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Better than taking some weird pill that's going to, have all these side effects on your organs. To put a piece of technology like this, it looks like a band-aid, right? It's just, and it's crystals that reflect back your own light back in you, and tell your body, signal to your body, because we are light essentially, to heal. This one says, stimulates copper peptides. Copper's a big healing thing. Stimulate copper peptides, which gets your stem cells going, and you just feel great. I'm going to play a tape. I'm sorry about, I just, it's exciting to me. Okay, so here we go. Let me just play this little tape about X49, which is a sister peptide, but this is for like building muscle for your body, for body strength. So here, let me just play this.
So I was on X49 for a brief period of time, and then I got off of it for a few weeks, and boy, did I notice a huge difference at the gym. My performance, my workouts, my stamina were no longer the same. And then I got back on it, and it all came back. I am a forever user of X49.
I got to tell you, since I started the X49, I'm a regular yogi, as you say. I go to yoga twice a week, and my balance postures are so much better.
The reps that I usually do, the strength that I usually have, totally different. I could feel stronger. I was doing more reps. I didn't get out of breath.
I went further and faster than I've gone in a long time.
The other patches are fabulous, but I'm just loving X49 more and more.
It is powerful to be able to lift more, to be able to perform better, to be able to recover faster too after a workout.
So I was on.
Yeah, I don't want to zip out of my comfort zone with this, but yeah, try the patches. If you're in a situation, I talked to somebody today who's a diabetic, and he talked to Dr. Stacy. We're going to just, as a community, we're just going to get healthy. It's not just the LifeWave patches. It's your diet. We, Danielle and I, are eating, we're kind of in the carnivore animal based diet. So we're eating more fats, and I just feel great, man. I mean, to have it like a nice piece of butter on a piece of bread we had tonight, on some sourdough bread, man, that was good. And we cook on a campfire, really just I have two stones with a grill across it, and we bought this Dutch oven. It's like a cast iron pot, and we stick a big roast in it with some potatoes and some water, and we just cook it for hours, and it's just amazing. So we have food for a couple of days from this roast. But to really maximize your health, health is wealth. If you're not healthy, everything else is a struggle. So I recommend everyone try the X39, X49, Eon if you have inflammation, glutathione, carnosine. All these patches are amazing, and also they have two powders. They have an AM a Celergized powder, and a PM. Danielle and I prefer the PM formula. It just tastes better. And we already have kind of like our situation. We usually, if we're eating chicken, we have a bit of creatine in the morning, some other things that Danielle is just, she's awesome in that she's constantly doing research, and we're constantly, I'm just like, oh, we just bought a whole package of creatine, and then she's like, well, we're not going to use it now. And I'm like, just like, but what I've learned with Danielle is that we keep these things. I say, well, just don't throw it out, because, and then she's in a lot of times she'll cycle back and she'll want to do that thing again. But to be working actively on your health, to be working actively on your wealth, right? To be working actively on your relationships. And it's not easy for us to have relationships because we're pariahs, we're black sheep. But I'm finding a kind of, I mean, I'm just, I can't explain it. It just feels to me like I'm coming out of a dark, like a, even though we love our life, we really have a good time up here. But like talking to Gila, talking to Sandra Marecki, talking to Nancy Singletary, and now talking to Grant and his wife Rose, and Valerie and Mike, and I've heard that Joe out here is sometimes listens to us. But to think that our thought process, that what we're dealing with here actually makes a difference, is well, it's more than that. We have that idea, but what I'm saying is that it feels to me like we're making progress. I don't think, when I listen to Sandra today, I don't think we're at the finish line. And I think a lot of podcasters would like us to believe that we're almost there. It- I, but however, on the other hand, we are almost there in that once you take charge of your life, of your health, of your wealth, of your creative adventures, of being childlike, of being, even if you're not in a relationship, to be in a state of discovery and wonder of the world. Like us, we have this relationship with a walking stick, with this little insect. They've multiplied. They're like, we see them all over the house. I mean, they're inside the house, we gave them permission to like hang out with us. So Danielle's like, you didn't hurt the walking stick, did you? I'm like, no, I didn't see him today. He's doing something else. To not be knocked over by this, the negativity and the events that seem to be around us, because at the end of the day, things are really happening. We are coming into the movie V. It could be that America will be the last. I don't know. Bulgaria, Nepal, Italy. Okay, so let me go to this post. I had a post. I assume you guys have the okay, we're down here. Keep praying for Tina. Right. I've heard she was pardoned. Yeah, she was pardoned. So your thoughts and your desires have traction, have a reality, produce vibrations. Sandy interview was great. I think so too, Anton. I mean, she was a powerhouse. She's a pilot, man. I mean, but she's been shadow banned and canceled, and they sabotage her organization, the Republic. That's our organization. Health and wellness are wonderful mornings and fastings. Right, we fast a lot, yeah, and eating good, safe food. This worked for me. Insurance is a scam. Roof on house older than 10 years, insurance won't cover you. Right? Yeah, I totally agree, Wendy. I mean, these are all scams. However, there are times when we're finding, anyway, does red light therapy help kidneys? Daniela is a big proponent of red light therapy. She wants only red lights in here. We haven't been able to pull it off because the the electric in an RV is it's 12 volts, so it's not so easy to find the kind of lighting we like. But we at least have incandescent bulbs in all our lights now. Look at the Silver Go, right? Great interview with her. Heard her on John Dowling. Yeah, she's amazing. Well, yeah, John and I, I'm very close with John. John is like the only podcaster who ever reached out to me, and none of the big shots. They don't have time for me. But John he's been religious about it. He's just like every month. A couple of months ago we were in Vegas eating sourdough pizza that was made with only with beef tallow and not with seed oils or oils. And John was like, and I was like, John, we're gonna have to skip this month. He's like, no, you can't. He would not let me. He said that it was so beautiful. So we went to another coffee house and we broadcast because he insisted on it. And that's what a beautiful soul he is. So I really appreciate it. But that's what I'm saying. It's like we're not we're becoming. I think we're becoming somethings in grand this grand adventure of the Great Awakening. Yes, silver's going up. I'm really hoping that some money. Tomorrow my lawsuit is being considered by the Supreme Court. I'm just hoping that I've been spending this money all these years. I've been thinking like, oh, I'm going to get all my back pay and they're going to make it right in New York, and now it's like it's really happening tomorrow. So, it could be that everything could change for us, but really for us, nothing would change. If we came into $5 million, nothing would change. It meaning that we wouldn't go it wouldn't be like, "Oh, let's buy a Lamborghini or whatever." We saw, by the way, a guy that we work with, the butcher we work with was driving a Corvette, a beautiful Corvette. I'm like, "Michael, what's that about?" But he's like he's a very successful he's an amazing butcher. I mean, he can he took I said, Michael, could you cut up this turkey in 5 seconds? He came out with the turkey in different bags. It was just amazing. But yeah, we live in a wonderful world. Look at silver. Yeah, red light therapy does work. I have a 10 watt and a 20 watt unit. It even is helpful in growing my hair back. That's interesting. Yeah, I have hair issues. I actually want to get the ASEA gel. The ASEA gel was very powerful for my hair, but for my beard. Yeah, for my beard. Yeah, she says my beard gets. So anyway, it's a beautiful world. But yeah, so Sandra was amazing, and I'm going to have her and other people from the Republic come and enlighten us as to what's going on. The White Hats actually reach out to them, talk to them. They don't reach out to me. I don't know you guys, but uh, whatever. I think it's a good thing because they're according to her, they're monitoring us through AI. They're monitoring the thought streams of what people believe. That's why I saw this post the other day that said, "Don't focus on the details. Just don't even think about it." Because that's not where it's at. That's the forest for the trees kind of thing, that you're not going to get anything from. But so she was saying that if a particular podcaster came out with the truth, it would not circulate to all the other podcasters, because that's not the point. The point is to test a certain thing, and that's probably what President Trump is doing a lot of the time. He's testing, and he's like he's opening a pathway, like I've said many times, with the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, leading to no tax. I mean, ABC. Redux Gold. Redux Gold. Yeah. Irish Gold. Yeah. Yeah. I like their gel. I'm a little bit, I think it was good. I think it was a good idea, the uh the ASEA, but we're hearing like different reports. I don't want to cast a shadow on anyone's parade, but Yeah, I think Tina's been freed, so we don't have to worry about her. Health and wellness are wonderful. Yeah, and okay, so I put out a short video this morning saying that the Democrats, the demons, are trying to impeach President Trump and RFK Jr. They want to kill us. It's like somebody does something. Some MAGA. You would want to impeach somebody who's trying to improve the food sources, the medical sources, the improve vaccines. I personally don't believe in vaccines. Period. But for some people, they want this thing. I mean, my parents swore by the German measles vaccine because my mother had problems with German measles, but no income tax is coming here. Right. I don't know how he'll get this done. I can't go through Congress, and our judicial system is broke. Right. It's a jail. Also, it's new. Oh, they have a new one. They have a new one. That's interesting. So I'll have to check that out. But I mean, I was an ASEA distributor. I just have kind of like lapsed. I've gotten more into the LifeWave thing. Um, so anyway, moringa and fasting. Yeah, we fast every morning. We eat about midday. Sometimes today we eat a fruit salad around 12, and then we have a big meal around 2. That was today. Sometimes we wait till 4, but the idea of being able to fast, of not being so addicted to having food all the time, it's really empowering. Like sometimes Danielle and I have to go to, let's say, Phoenix, and we have to leave at 5 in the morning to get there on time for an appointment. And we don't have like this thing like, well, I got to eat something before we go. It's just like, let's just go, man. We'll eat as we can. And it's it's like Siddhartha said, I can fast and I can wait. I think he said also I can think. I think that was the thing. And that's true too. You can think if you're not always obsessed with weird things like what are you going to eat next. You could spend your whole life thinking about what am I going to eat today. When you're a drug addict or addicted to alcohol, that's really that's almost as bad as the drink itself, is that you're always thinking about what, I can't wait till I can drink. I'm going to have this, whatever. Okay, so yeah, all right. So let's go to the thought stream. I want to I want to share some things. Nothing really jumped out at me completely. Greek farmers shut down country over missing millions and farm fraud fallout. That's what's happening worldwide. This is V for Vendetta. Leaked document shows US wants to pull 4 countries out of the EU as part of Make Europe Great Again strategy. Italy, Poland, Hungary, Austria. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the power of the White Hats and President Trump? People are tired of these globalists. Greek farmers. I mean, amazing, right? Breaking Bulgarian government collapses under mass protests. PM steps down. This is tremendous news. It's really happening. The Epstein File Transparency Act is done in 30. They're saying that December 19th is when it's due. In January of this year, Brian Cates has really become very important commentator here. In late January of this year, the newly inaugurated Real American president initiated a hostile takeover that was essentially an organized crime front, cleverly disguised as a functioning United States federal government. Well, this must be uh, old. Yeah, I don't know. The hostile takeover has proceeded and advanced over the last 11 months, though many of the popular political pundits, celebrity journalists, and social media influencers are either blind to it or trying as hard as they can to slow Trump and his dream team cabinet down as much as possible. For the first time ever in modern times, an American chief executive was not content to be merely figurehead or merely scout out his opponents while forming a plan to destroy them. Uh, yeah, are you guys? Let me go back. Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys are seeing this. Sometimes I make a mistake, but I think this is powerful. Hey, Nicole Puentes, how are you? Okay, let's go back to this thought. This thought again. Trump came in this January, last January, knowing exactly where to go and to have done by Elon, Pete, Pam, Cash, Marco, Bob, Bobby, Tulsi, and the others. Slowly, they began turning this massive organized crime front that's been masquerading as the U.S. federal government into an actual U.S. federal government. It was not as easy as I am making it sound. Most of the swapping out of the organized crime personnel and infrastructure had to be done out of sight and away from the cameras. Trump did get sufficient control of some of those organized crime fronts disguised as federal agencies early on, thanks to Elon and the Doge team's work on the Treasury Department and the Social Security Administration. Note, I didn't say total control, I said sufficient control. Sufficient control to expose those things and start shutting them down, such as happened in February, March, April at the Treasury Department and this SSA, with the cutting of the funding to U.S. aid and the start of the removal of over 40 million fraudulent Social Security numbers from the Social Security Administration. However, the struggle to get sufficient control of things like the Department of Justice, the FBI, the U.S. military, some of the agencies at HHS took much longer. It took a while. I'm not sure what HHS is, but it took a while for Trump and Pete to swap out the organized crime personnel and infrastructure in the US military to turn it into an actual US president directed military force, the culmination of which was the big powwow at Quantico a while back. Remember when they had all the generals? Instead of enabling, engaging, shielding the massive drug smuggling and human trafficking networks that have been operating for decades in the United States, Trump and Hegseth have tasked the newly freed U.S. military, nice parade, by the way, and tasked it with utterly destroying those human drug trafficking networks. There's a reason the real war on drugs wasn't launched until late in the summer of this year. And the narrative that is a very real war on drugs is held in the public consciousness by blowing up drug boats and playing the videos for the media so the fake news can be outraged by it. It took a while for enough functional control of the prerequisite agencies to begin forming EBT, SNAP, and federal reforming. I'm sorry, EBT, SNAP, and federal housing, which is why they didn't start being announced until last month. And it took a while for Trump and Bondi to get enough functional control that the grand conspiracy grand juries could be seated in Florida and begin their investigations and issuing subpoenas, which they continue to do quietly while attention is focused on the judicial coup underway as USA's Halligan and now Haba have been tossed out of office. So while the hostile takeover of this massive, intricate, organized crime front disguised as a federal government continues apace, it's rockier going at the Department of Justice because of federal judges blocking almost everything. It is continuing. Do not think for a moment that Donald J. Trump and his Dream Team cabinet are failing at their mission to take this vast, evil, organized crime front and turn it into an actual, real, live, honest to God, America First government that actually serves Americans and not a transnational crime syndicate. They are not failing. In less than 1 year, they have made dramatic and almost miraculous progress in this mission. However, most of the political pundits, celebrity journalists, and social media influences you currently follow and trust either don't understand this or they do and they're trying very hard to keep you from seeing this or understanding that President Trump's team has actually been doing and accomplishing this year, which is the setup year. The year Trump and his Dream Team cabinet started the impossible, gain enough control of the organized crime front, fighting them every damn step of the way, and turning it into a real America First government with the traitors howling and screaming and growing more and more obvious in their attempts to protect the old guard. But the destruction of the old guard isn't happening quite the way some envisioned it, or it is not happening fast enough. And so you get endless doom scrolling from some accounts on here throughout what is going to be one of the most consequential years in history. Because next year is when the fun really starts. As I said, this is the setup year. Trump always knew he and his Dream Team cabinet have to have sufficient control across the board of a newly reconstituted, in a hurry, U.S. federal government before they can really put the pedal to the metal. We're not quite yet at the point Trump will invoke the Insurrection Act, but we will get there. And when we do, you'll watch many of the same people screaming over and over and over every day for the past year, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are they yet? Faster and faster. Fire Pam, fire Cash, fire Christie, fire everybody, start over. Suddenly start screaming, oh my God, slow down, slow down. It's too fast, too fast. WTF, stop, stop, stop. For the love of God, somebody stop him. And you'll remember who started telling you this in March of this year. A lot of people that you think are on your side are not what they appear to be. Okay, that is a huge, everything is planned in time. Everything Biden has done is going to be proven illegitimate and not just because of the auto pen. I think that's just a brilliant analysis of where things are holding. So stay away from the dream scrollers, man. And that 2 points make a line. That corresponds with what Sandra said today, that there are all these experiments out there. There are all these people, and they're not really in sync with what's actually happening. They're actually there to destroy things. And in their destroying things, sometimes that could help people wake up. I mean, you don't know what message is going to have the effect of waking somebody up. But it seems to me that things are happening in such a grand scale and that we are reclaiming our world. I haven't seen chemtrails for the last couple of days up here, which it makes me very happy. We're building today I just didn't have, after yesterday running around Kingman all day, I just didn't have the oomph that I usually do, but we're rapidly working on the things that we love to do. And so should you be doing too. This is all about, like Sandra said, it's all about the Republic, not the new Republic, the Republic, a continuation of the Republic from 1860. This is happening. So join her. I'll put the contact thing again. Let's see where we go. Join her. Um, all you have to do is there's like that's like a website. You just basically fill out a couple things. They might direct you to something else. You sign up. If you can help, if they call you and you can help them, this would be a huge addition. This would really help prime the pump of actualizing the Great Awakening, of actualizing Gesara. So when all these people that are like the EBS is coming next week, it's December 1st, November 22nd. We've been dealing with these guys for years. These are piss ants. These are people who are meant to distract you from the truth, which is that we're heading for the promised land. And I just, yeah, I'm going to play the tune, but I just want to thank everyone for participating in this channel, for participating in the Life Wave. We're really excited about becoming successful for the first time. Both Danielle and I, we've had very, difficult, let's say difficult. We've all had. We're not different from you. You're on this channel because you've been through what we've been through. We've all had it. This has not been an easy time for anyone, especially when you're awake. But we're getting there. But don't look at the dates. Look at the direction. Look at the direction all this is taking. Do not where's Pam Bondi? All that. Forget about it. Listen to the interview with Sandra. She tells it like it is. And they I don't know, she had two internet channels because one of hers the same thing happened with Nancy Singletary, that we weren't able to see her face. Who knows what forces are working against him? Demonic satanic forces. This is a vast criminal organization. These are Satanists. These are reptiles. This goes back to the Garden of Eden and everything else. This is evil incarnate. These are, so if you think, well, it's just if the Democrats would only do the right thing, they're demonic. Okay, so let's celebrate. Let's celebrate the fact that the direction is forward, and we get to play a part, and we can register with the New Republic. We can be investors now. I mean, I can't tell you how happy it makes me. XRP is like kind of like tanked lately, but if I had money, I would still buy some more. But it just I really appreciate hearing from people that we just bought a little XRP. It's like you're taking control of your life. And eventually you'll get like me. You just be like, man, I'm out of here, man. I can't deal with these criminals. These are criminals anymore. The doctors, the lawyers, the politicians, the actors, the teachers, even they're all in this huge transnational crime syndicate, the cartel, the drug runners. And you hear Trump at President Trump at his broadcasts. The reporters are like, "How can you blow up? How can you claim a tanker?" It's like, well, you know why they can claim a tanker? Because it's full of little kids, probably. It's probably full of child trafficking. It's full of drugs. What do you think? The media is the enemy of the people. Period. The mainstream medical community too. The lawyers are satanic. They may not be satanic themselves, so they may not be aware of it, but the bar association is a satanic organization. That's what I talk about in my song. And by the way, I told you, the one line in the song that isn't really, I don't think is clear, is that we're tired of gassy cars. What I meant by that was that we could be driving cars that are run on water now. They have the technology. They've just been withholding us. Majestic 12 and all these things that are keeping us from. But Gesara and Nasara, we know what direction they're heading in. And don't worry about the time sequence. Don't worry about, well, they said it was going to happen last Tuesday. They've been saying that for 5 years, and that is, it could be like Gila says, that could be their particular node. Like, in other words, that's their mission, is to protect that that aspect of consciousness that we're constantly like waiting for. But it could be, some people really respond to that. Some, we, a lot of us are just really sick of it. I am just like, people that it's mind blowing. Yeah, tell me about copper. I bought, but yeah, it's so exciting to buy copper because you could buy a bunch of it. Like, my at the post office, they were like, what is this? What's in this package? It's so heavy. Like, I like the idea of buying things. I mean, I want to get some silver. I sold all my silver. I would like to get a little silver, but I'm really excited about buying copper. It has a tremendous future. It has utility like XRP, like XLM. So yeah, it's very exciting. To have for $100 to get, like a massive, a thing that weighs a lot. It reminds me of the old days with the silver. I had massive amounts of silver, but listen, I traded it for the land, and I don't regret it. I had to pause, so I'm behind earlier. Ellie said 31F was near freezing. I'm talking about 31 Fahrenheit. Oh, 31 Fahrenheit. Okay. So, well, let me think. Negative, 31 Fahrenheit was near freezing. I'm talking about, you're talking about negative 31. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's a big difference, Chad. Yeah, Chad is my brother from another mother, man. Where someday I'm going to get to meet Chad, and I hope you're. I hope you're. I hope you're finding. I hope you're finding the woman of your dreams. I hope everyone here is finding relationships. They're going to come. It's going to come from unexpected. At least for me, it came in a very unexpected way, and it doesn't look like what I thought it should look like, which I really had no idea what it should look like. But I've been a bumbler in terms of relationships for many years. But I really like. I need to be with a female. I otherwise I'm just like this all the time. I'm like, I'm like so hard up that it's not pleasant to experience community when you constantly, you have your eyes, your eyes peeled for the next, and women don't like that, and I've known that for years, but I haven't been able to control myself. But now I have a loving partner who understands what a beast I am, and she's like, come on, man, and she keeps me in line, and I like it. She tells me like when to do what, because I'm like just like an open, I'm open source, man. I'm just like, I'm going to go out and build something, and she's like, well, why don't you just focus on the next window? 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degrees, right? Which is freezing. Yeah. My roses love my life, my third rodeo. Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like Rose is just an amazing person. So I'm so excited. Grant is going to come on to our Tuesday afternoon meeting with Dr. Stacy next week, and I'm just so excited about hearing from them. They're very, they're very progressive, and they have some health issues, and they're trying. They're very excited about the LifeWave product, as I am. I mean, I'm just, it's just it's out of the box, man. I mean, you put this little band-aid on you. This is X49, by the way. I have X39 on the back of my neck, and I have SP6 right below my belly button, 4 fingers down from my belly button. It doesn't really matter where you put it, but we're healthy. We're up here. I can't really, I tell you, I can't really afford. I mean, it would not be thing. I'm building a house, man. I can't be sick. It's not possible. And I'm very careful up here. Every time, when I cut vegetables, when I use a circular saw, I'm thinking to myself, do not screw up, man, because it's a long way to the hospital from here, man. And we ain't doing that. So I did once. I had one injury once, and thank God, Corinne of Brian. I just, by the way, I really like the Kenyan blend is it has a spiciness to it. Spiritual Bean and Prescott, Arizona. If you want to go to his coffee shop, it's really the best would be to go to his coffee shop because Brian is has taken coffee making to like a high. It's like a Chinese tea ceremony. He weighs his beans, he spritzes them with water, he gently wets them with a special teapot with a spout on it, which we now have. And he also gave me all this equipment. He's a sweetheart. But he wets it first, and he looks for the bubbles and the. So if you can go to Prescott, if you have the good fortune to be in Prescott, Arizona, you should really check out his coffee shop. But yeah, Corinne saved me a couple years ago. I smashed my finger on a rock. We were building, and I was trying to be. We had somebody here to help us, and I was trying to be like Macho Man at 69, and crush my finger a little bit in a rock. But Corinne helped me out, man. Corinne's very good at healing and stuff. So, but anyway, it's a beautiful world, and we are leaving the Matrix. When it's going to happen, I don't know. I truly hope, Ellie, my husband says, can it happen before he's 95 years old? I truly hope my husband says it can't happen before he is 95 years old. I'm not sure what you mean, but I never Ellie, I never had a good teacher like you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet, Walter. I also really, I had one a teacher, my science teacher in sixth grade, Mr. Stamus. He was this swarthy Greek dude, man, and he was so excited about science. It just got me into, like projects, like doing science projects back in the day. Everything was, you wrote reports, and then with Mr. Stamus, it was like. But yeah, a good teacher is Sparky Brown was a good teacher. But yeah, thank you for saying that because I was rated ineffective by almost every administrator in Brooklyn in my time. Rose is, yeah, she sounds just like a wonderful person. Yeah, yeah, and the people from I I is it, not Colombia, Brazil, are so rich, in language and culture, and, there's some countries you just, you know Nepal stands out in my mind as another place where the people are just really cool, but people are cool wherever you are, and, like I said, I met this like cool, like redneck dude at the bank yesterday. He was just like, I had the nicest conversation of the day. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing Grant and Rose on Tuesday. Dr. Stacy at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Come and join us. You can order the Lifeway product right online. You can get your X39, X49. I'm doing the double now. I mean, I couldn't always afford it, but now we're like, now we skim the top off. When we get paid, Danielle's like, we need silent nights. We need to have a decent night's sleep. We need that patch. We need more aloe vera for our pineal gland and our skin and also your sexual functioning helps. Aloe vera helps with that. But these are amazing patches. But I really thank everyone for supporting us with this, and just try it. And if you want to be a brand partner, and if you reach out to me like Grant did. Grant just reached out actually to Dr. Stacy, and Dr. Stacy sent me the information. I called him right away. I sent him my phone number, and he called me right away, and we set up. So if you want to be a brand partner, you want to come on live with us, I'll do what I can. We will do it. We want you to be successful. So we're leaving the matrix, guys. It may not happen in the time frame you expect. In terms of like finances, my approach is just like I paid my mortgage as long as they accepted it. Then when they changed their operation, I was like, screw you guys, man. You can't change the rules midstream. And I stopped paying. I only owe a couple of months worth of mortgage, but I'm like, I'll pay it when I pay it. I don't pay. I don't have credit cards. I don't have insurance. So if you're looking for ways to improve your income so you can buy the kind of food that you need to live. Okay, enough said. All right, let's go. Let me take this off. Okay. Let's go to the tune, man. I'm sorry last night I blew up the channel, but I love you guys. Thank you so much. And like I said, the word I always used in when I was in writing school was, I think it was sparkle. That there's a certain sparkle that seems to be happening right now around this community. Getting Sandra Marecki was and Nancy Singletary, and now Grant and Rose and Valerie and Mike and Joe C in the on the ranch. Just hearing from people like, I go to Kingman all the time. People don't come up to me in the grocery store saying, "Are you Ellie?" But I did have that experience with a friend in Sprouts in Vegas. He came up and he gave me a big hug. I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" So we're gaining traction. Our point of view, it may not be as sexy as Dino, Nino, and all these other people. With the real news, what's really happening right now. It's a bunch of bullshit. In my opinion. But who am I? What do I know? Okay, so let's go back to the chats. Yeah, Grandy Graham, I've been broadcast. I never stopped broadcasting. It's just that YouTube cancels me periodically and continually. So I have a YouTube channel now. How I got this channel back, I don't know, but you just have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. On X, it's at eWebstar13. On Rumble, it's Kabbalah Guru. On Facebook, it's Kabbalah Guru. So there are other ways to stick with the community. I think this is really a family. Most of us don't have people in the family that talk to us anymore. So we make our own family online, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's go to our little tune for the day.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Move into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band, leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control, left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band, leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Yeah, I'm not in Brooklyn anymore. I'm in Hey Ruda. I'm in Arizona. We're living off grid, man. We're living on solar panels and propane and a freezer full of non-injected meat. um, yeah. How are you, my friend? I hope all is well in Arizona. I know I'll get a website for. Yeah, that's Jenny, man. She is a she's a great photographer. Everyone has gifts. Thanks for appreciating the song, Derek Arnold. Yeah, Yes, Sandy was great, and Nancy is great, and all the patriots are out there doing this hard job of being an interim republic until the real republic is established. So everybody should jump on it. I'll put the contact information again. You can just sign up. But if they reach out to you, they're saying that they need people to actually do stuff. So it's all about the action. We're priming the pump. And my experience with action is that things manifest. But you have to prime the pump. You may not, like I said, I use the example of the wood. I went to Home Depot and I got 3 boards at half price, it's like, and I started building. And then I got more boards at, whatever, it's, and then all of a sudden I came into the mother load because I was open to it. And I think this is the way things are. You just have to like be out there and trust and do. So on all these things, I really appreciate all your support. Again, if you want to contact Dr. Stacy, if you feel like you want to like talk to somebody, if you want to be a brand partner, if you want to, jump on the online with us and form a business and share this great product with others. But you should try it first. You really have to try it and make sure it works for you. It may take time. It took me 2 years to really appreciate how amazing this product is. So we appreciate your support, and God willing, we'll be back in tomorrow. What's tomorrow? What is it? Friday. It's Friday already. Wow. So yeah, I mean, we oh, the windows is another place where we're priming the pump. We put in old windows that really looked not so good, and then we replaced them with better windows, and then now we're like, well, there's certain windows that we're not really happy with, and we want. So it's you know, you don't always get exactly like the high level you want right away, but if you keep priming the pump in terms of the manifestation, and I say do this in investing, maybe buy some, buy a roll of copper for what it costs 30, it costs about like $70 for a roll of copper from like Apmex or one of the metals places. You could just order it online, it'll come to your door. But be an investor, be involved, do. And if you can get involved with the Republic, that's even better. Just move forward. We got to keep moving forward. Don't get discouraged by dates. It's happening. When they say it's going to happen next year, we've dealt with this. It's a mindset. These, you want to believe it's going to happen by a certain time, but if it doesn't, you have to find other ways to get the job done. That's like me, man. I was living in the city, paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. I was really trying to pay down my credit card bills. And then I just said, I'm not doing this. I'm not paying you anything. And don't even try to contact me because I won't get back to you. I won't even pick up the phone. I used to get calls all the time. Now they don't even bother to call us. It's gone. It's gone. My credit card bills are gone. But you have to have that mindset. You have to know that you're okay, because otherwise you'll drive yourself nuts. You'll be so scared, you'll be hiding under the bed all the time. They're coming for me. All right, so anyway, have a great night. Know that you are the one. Thank you for supporting our channel. I really feel like we're starting to get into a roll. We're starting to avalanche. It's starting to collect. I'm feeling the energy's growing, and we're succeeding, and we want you to succeed. We want you to be the person that you were always meant to be the Neo, to be the one. You personally will save the world. It's you have meaning, you have a body, you have a soul, you have thoughts, speech, action. You can do stuff. Don't be afraid. You don't think that social media is nothing. It's not. If you don't have a steady relationship, just keep working towards it. It'll surprise you. It'll bite you in the butt. And you'll be like, what? You all right, anyway, may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. I'm not just saying that. You are the force. You are the one who can change the nature of reality, the nature of human consciousness. That's what Sandra was saying, was that they monitor us, to see where people are really holding. So you guys are the leaders of the world, the leaders of the band. May source be with you. May you connect with your highest level of creativity without fear. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and